Hello, everybody. I've missed all of you so much. I don't really have like a lot of stuff to say. Just wanted to update you on some things, I guess. I have a new boyfriend, and it's interesting because he got hit by a semi, and he was in a coma for 3 weeks. Hi, Salted. How are you doing? But anyway, I just wanted to talk more about the death theory thing because, like, I've seen, like, over the past few weeks, I've been, like, listening to him about his coma, and then also just, like, watching the TV show The Leftovers, where, um, he pretty much, hey, Brian, nice to see you. I'm really glad you're here. I'm glad Salted is here as well. But anyway, I think the death theory is not something that's explored enough. And I want to explore it more because I know for myself that, that's what precipitated, me seeing the changes. And why, when I was 14 years old in 1982, tried to commit suicide, and the very first change I saw was John Deere, you know, and I think that the death theory is not explored enough. I don't know if Brian, if you or Salted or anybody has experienced that, or where what, if you don't think that that is part of your Mandela effect experience at all, that's fine. But for me, it's a huge part. And for a lot of, other people like Patrick, Digi, other people, they, um, you know, they have experienced that as well. And so, like, why in the 80s did I see John Deere go from, DER to an E on the end? Why did I see Christopher Reeves go to Reeve, Sally Fields go to Field, Rod Sterling go to Serling? And the thing is about the and Charles Schultz with a T go without a T. But one of the major things for that, of all the things that I listed, is Rod Sterling, because I lived near Sterling, Colorado. And so there's no way I'm going to misremember Rod Sterling, having a T in his name. I mean, I lived near Sterling, Colorado, and it's not going to happen. But anyway, Brian, Salted, I'm so glad you guys are here. I don't know. I just haven't been on in a long time, and I just want to explore this death theory a little bit more because, like, there's 3 distinct periods in my life, where I saw different things. One was in the 80s. One was around, well, when Nelson Mandela became president of South Africa. I was just like, what the fuck, I knew that couldn't have been true. I was just like, what the hell? He died. He died, you know? And so, like, that's another one. And then one in about, let's see, I guess it would have been 2014, 15, something like that. I saw a cement wall coming towards me, on the highway. I fell asleep at the wheel. I saw, a cement wall coming towards me. And I was like, oh, F, you know, I mean, I'm done. I'm done. And I saw that cement wall coming towards me. And then all of a sudden, just a little bit down the road, you know, nothing, it was like nothing ever happened. And so, what the heck was that about? Hey, Prelim. So, Prelim, you know about all this, of the death theory and all that. If anybody wants to join, just let me know and I can give you a link to join. But anyway, yeah, I just Prelim. My boyfriend was in a coma for 3 weeks, and you know, I so that's something similar, I guess, to either you or Patrick. I always get you and Patrick mixed up on what your stories are on the coma shit. I don't really remember. But you were in a coma, right? Or no? I can't remember. Or was it Patrick? There's two Patricks, so I always get mixed up on what your stories are and whatever. But anyway, yeah, I'm fine. Oh, Patrick Roberts. Okay, okay. But but yeah, and so like the whole death theory is really holds my attention because I think that it is one of the things that's least discussed because people are afraid, you know. They don't want to believe that they've died or whatever. You know, for me, it's like I, I think I've died a couple or 3 or 4, maybe 5 times, you know? And so for me, it's like, it's not really that big of a deal as far as all that goes. But for some people, it is going to be a big deal. And they're going to be afraid. They're going to be afraid to think that they have died. But you know, you watch some of these shows like The OA or The Leftovers or I mean, it's just, you know, there's, I mean, you know, not that TV shows are indicators of reality necessarily, but I mean, why would they have those shows about those concepts, you know, if they weren't possibly true? And so I don't think that people give enough credence to the fact that when you see changes on the Mandela effect that perhaps that you have died, you know. And that's just my opinion. But anyway, that's just my opinion. I mean, I don't know if that's something that is 100% true or anything like that, but I know for me, I don't think that there is any other reason for me to have experienced the Mandela effect other than dying. You know, I mean, that's just my opinion. And so, you know, who knows? I really don't know. Um, it's just it's a hard concept to follow. I'm gonna put the link in the chat for you guys in case anybody wants to join. And then if you do join, let me know because sometimes you know, I don't see it right away, stuff like that. But you know, prelim, you know, we've talked about this a lot, you know, fairly a lot, but I don't know, I can't get around it, honestly. You know, I can't get around the fact that we possibly could have died. And, you know, I don't know how to, you know, I don't know how to, you know, say, I guess, I'm trying to think of a different word, but to say what I mean on all this, because it's just so hard and sometimes. It's so hard because people are just they're they're scared, you know? They're scared. They're scared of that might be the case. And I don't know why you would be scared because I don't know. Because if you've experienced this stuff, the Mandela effect, if you experienced all these changes, it's scary in itself, you know? And so, I mean, just experiencing the Mandela effect is scary enough. I mean, just like, it's not scary to me anymore necessarily because I've seen so many, you know, seen so many Mandela effects, and it's like I'm open to anything. Oh, prelim, I'm gonna add you. Hey, Patrick, how are you doing? Can you hear me? I don't know. Oh, I've got you on mute. Hang on. Oh, it says can't unmute your guest because they chose.
Testing.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, there it is.
How are you doing, Prelim?
All right. What's happening?
Oh, nothing much. I haven't been on in a long time. How are you? I just wanted to let everybody know I was okay because I
Oh,
haven't
that's
been on
good.
in so long.
Did you say your boyfriend was in a coma
Yes.
just recently?
No, it was about 3 years ago.
Okay.
But it's a
Did,
major thing for me because like it seems like Patrick Roberts was in a coma, my
yeah,
boyfriend now was in a coma, and
3 years ago.
and
I
he
I don't remember you ever mentioning that. Did he have
oh
a,
it's a new boyfriend.
did he have an out of body?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, okay.
No. I could ask him, but I don't think he did. But no, but the thing is that, I mean, he was hit by a semi. He was in a
Wow.
coma for 3 weeks, and it's just like, and he sees effects, but he doesn't like obsess over them like we do. You know what I mean? And
I
so,
I obsess more about the cause. Like what I don't really care about the changes as much. I'm just trying to wonder, what is going on.
well, that's how I am too. I mean, I want to know why it's happening.
Right.
Why?
That's what I'm obsessed with. And we've all seen so many of the changes, so we already know something happened. Can't really define what that is. I
Yeah.
mean, we can, but we know it's something beyond. You still there?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm thinking. I was just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I there's some reason why we're all experiencing this and what is it, and why.
Yeah.
And that's what I obsess about too is just like I don't really care about like even
Yeah.
I mean I see even little logo changes that people don't even talk about. I see local stuff. I mean like
Yeah.
I have like a little grocery store here that the R changed. I mean big deal, I mean am I going to put
Yeah.
that in the video? I mean I guess I can, whatever. But
Hmm.
I'm just saying that it's like I don't really care about that. I want to know why
Yeah.
we're experiencing this. Exactly what you said.
Yeah. And I
You
think
know?
that's true. But I think a lot of us just find it too overwhelming to even define it. And so we just kind of go with just looking at the changes and kind of making it amusing. But it's more concerning. Like, wait a minute, I gotta check my life, and I I feel like this is a routing station. Does that make sense?
Well,
Like like
yeah.
like sort of an in between, zone where the spirit has to clean the temple in the mind and get really in tune, and from there we can, just, I think, be more available to the spiritual aspect. I think that's where we can really wake up, or at least be more ready for the real change. Because
Well,
this
and
doesn't feel like the same world, so it must be some kind of a purgatory, or a waiting zone.
I think it is. And if you look at like some of the Native American
Yeah,
prophecies and stuff like that, or even just their
yeah,
sayings, they talk about that. They talk about the in-between place.
yeah. So does Emanuel Swedenborg,
Yes, I've
famous
studied
writer.
that as well. Uh-huh.
He talks about the purgatory zone, or well, it's called paradise. But paradise is it's a word that has different meanings. Like, for according to some, from hundreds of years ago, paradise didn't mean heaven. It's different than heaven. It's more like and it isn't like a spiritual realm. It's like everything's kind of almost the same. Yet what it really is a spiritual. It's kind of like God's way of uh, of to live by faith rather than fact.
And I also think that it's also a part of it is that, like, even for people who don't believe, it's like
Mhm.
God's giving you every single chance He can give you, you know?
In a way that isn't obvious,
Right.
because for some reason, at least I don't know about the God in the highest, but the Earth God um, wants us to be in this living by faith, rather than being surrounded by angels, and so that we don't feel any choice. We're in a situation where we still have choice without being forced to I don't know. That's confusing. I was watching this incredible episode that it was from the Voyager Star Trek series, and
Is it where she doesn't go into the light? Is that
yeah,
the
yeah, it's about,
uh-huh.
it's about a being that creates a matrix, and
Yes.
wants her to go into it, and she refuses. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's a really great episode. I love that
oh,
episode.
it just makes, and I've seen it before, but not for like 20 years. And I saw that, and I just thought, wow, that I remember how heavy this episode is, and that wow, that just really confuses me though too, because for a long time I'm trying to strengthen my faith, and I don't really want something that's going to make it seem the opposite.
Right. I think
Um,
it's so strong of her though, because she figures out that
yeah,
it's a trap,
right.
you know.
And she says to the guy, to the being, "Why didn't you tell us that in the first place?" Why? And that's why she figured it was a trap. To be owned by this being in their matrix.
Right.
And Svetlana just posted about what we're talking about yesterday in her new video, and that's I watched that, and then I went to watch the whole episode.
Yeah, I need to look at Svetlana's channel again, because she
It's
had some really good concepts.
Yeah, she's way radical in her
Yeah.
view, and I really like how she uses abstract objects to explain what she's trying to illustrate.
Mhm.
and her theory on it. And it's it, what do you do when you have all these theories that make sense, but they don't really go together?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I just, hi, Mystery Fried.
Oops. Hey, mystery. I can't see the chat right now. I'm just
Yeah, there's only a few in here, and that's okay. I mean,
yeah.
I haven't been on in so long or whatever, but I just felt like,
Hmm.
I feel like, that I just wanted to let people know I was okay and I was doing all right. And
Yeah,
I'm
that's
still
good.
like thinking about all these things.
Yeah.
And, I know that you think deeply about all this stuff too. And that's really, I don't know. I love how deeply you think about stuff like this as well.
Well, I don't articulate it as well as everybody. Everybody else is a lot more vocal and making videos. For me, I can't even express the way everyone else can. I get,
I don't believe
I
that's true, Prelim.
oh,
I
unless
don't
well,
believe that's
well,
true.
if you ask me a specific question, like I could do it if I had a guest, then I could make videos, but I can't just start a video and then try to bring people in and then have a subject and try to direct it. And I think I'm too visual. I'm not very verbal, and that's
Well,
okay.
you're
I
an
mean, I
artist, and
accept that.
so.
I don't want to try to be good at something that I'm really not good at.
But you are. You don't realize
What?
it. But you
I
are
am.
though, and you don't realize it. I mean, you're an awesome artist as well. I mean, I love seeing your visual stuff.
Hey.
But I mean, you actually, when you come on people's
Mm.
shows, you are
Yeah,
very verbal
I
and you're
am.
very articulate.
I don't feel that way. I feel
But
like
you are. You
I feel
are.
like I make. I feel like I just make minimal comments, and
No, I mean,
you
you
know,
were one of the very first people on my channel. Suso was the first, but I think you were
yeah,
maybe the second,
yeah, yeah. I
and
remember seeing you way back when, when Scarab was still doing shows with Rachel Reinstra and
mm,
Paula, that girl, and all the early Scarab shows, and the Life Matrix was doing shows with Scarab a lot,
yeah.
and all the early Money Bags videos. I mean, when he just started doing, he changed from being a money channel to a Mandela channel.
Yeah,
You
he
know what makes
really,
no? I just thought of something. How come this woman, what's her name, Fiona Broom, is not involved with all of the online people at all? I mean, she never comes
well,
on anybody's.
everybody asks that. And see,
Yeah.
honestly,
Why does she stay in the background?
yeah, well, exactly why.
Yeah.
And see, for me, Cynthia was there. I mean, I didn't know about
Yeah.
her,
Yeah.
but
Cynthia
she's
was way before.
yes, she was way before
Yeah.
Fiona Broom.
It
Way
must be.
before.
I like her attitude about it. I mean, she's very optimistic, and I mean, 'cause
Cynthia is great. I mean,
yeah,
she
she's.
just has like a chill attitude about everything, but yet
Hmm.
she talks about her experiences and about like, how
Hmm.
I mean, she was into this way before. And see,
Right. That's and Chick was like 2008. That's
yeah.
still really early to me
Well,
for
and
the
for me, my first Mandela effect was 82. I mean, I didn't know what it was,
that those like the Rod Sterling, that one, it, I'm just not even sure about. I mean, it would make more sense if it was Sterling. I don't remember exactly if it was, so I can't comment on that one.
For me, it was definitely Rod Sterling, and there's so many that I
I
saw in the 80s.
I think
But
it
the
was
thing,
for me too. No, because I do remember Rod Sterling. It wasn't Serling.
yeah, well, and plus for me, I lived near Sterling, Colorado, and
Yeah,
so I knew it was Sterling. I mean, it was just like when it
yeah.
wasn't
Huh.
Sterling, I was like, "What are you talking about?" It was Sterling,
I no,
and
because I did see Serling when I first saw Serling. It must have been over 20 years ago, and I at first I just thought I was misremembering it, and things
that's what
that
we all used to think about
yeah
misremembering.
that when it was that long ago. Yeah, we thought, oh, I must have read it wrong.
Yeah. Now, for you, was it just to go back a little bit
Yeah,
even further, like
uh,
uh,
yeah,
were you a Bible reader? I mean, was it Revelations with an S or Revelation?
yeah. E- Except I was always using the NIV, and
Well, I would too,
I
but
I didn't like the KGV because it was the old English and I didn't understand it,
right.
and the phrasing felt awkward. So, but I didn't know. Like, for one of the Mandelas to me is that uh, there's verses removed from the NIV that KGV has, but not in. I didn't really start reading the Bible until about 1989,
Hi,
and
David Yankee. I just wanted to shout out.
oh hi, I have to find the.
Yeah, Prelim can't see the chat,
Oh,
so
I see the screen now. Okay, I had to
oh,
switch.
okay. But yeah, I just want to
Hi,
shout out to
Data.
you right here.
So
But
yeah, so then and that was really slow, and I'm kind of a slow reader. So I mean, I would read, I would proofread it. I would have to write it down in order to get more out of it, and I proofread to prevent my mind from wandering. And it's a very slow. That's why it's slow for me to read because I have to write down every sentence,
yeah, well,
and because that way I feel like I concentrate way better.
yeah. And for me, it's just like I saw that when I was about well, it was in the 80s sometime. It must have been
Yeah.
82 or 83, right after I tried to commit suicide.
Uh-huh.
I read Revelations over and over. I mean, I read it probably like maybe 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
And it changed from Revelation to Revelations, and so did Matthew. Went from 1T to 2,
Mm-hmm.
and you
Hmm.
know I don't know. I mean, I don't even know how people, when you talk about this stuff, I mean, obviously people think you're crazy or whatever, you're misremembering or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, but we're not. I mean, I'm not. And
Yeah.
that's why I
I
love this community, is because,
yeah.
you know, they know I'm not misremembering, because even if they don't remember
Mm-hmm.
it the way that I do,
Yeah.
they can accept what my memory is, you know.
Yeah. I leave room for some, possibility that I could be, some things I'm not sure about. But a lot of the really drastic changes as far as products go, like and a lot of them are stupid, but like, Sex in the City, it it was never Sex and the City.
Exactly.
It doesn't even make sense. And
Mhm.
They
Yep.
fucking changed that too.
who's that?
Oh, that was my boyfriend. He was like, they,
Oh,
they,
oh,
he was incredulous. He's like, they changed that too.
okay. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, they
and
did, babe.
all the other ones, But
Yeah.
the things that grab my attention is the geographic changes.
Oh,
That's
I know.
because when I saw Oscar Mayer, I thought, wow, that's very bizarre, and then it became one of the first in one of the videos when I got out of the hospital, and I was positive it was ER. It wasn't, it wasn't Mayer. It was Meyer.
Yeah, and then just the Panama Canal is huge for me.
Yeah,
it's so fucking huge. I mean, it was left. I mean, it was like
the lower half of Mexico is
yes,
bent. It's all bent. It's like it used to just go down a little bit more, and then they curved right into that Panama Canal area,
Right.
and South America being more aligned.
Okay, so my boyfriend is just saying just now he didn't realize because I haven't talked to him about 100%.
Oh yeah.
So, Chad. So
hey,
you
Chad.
remember the Panama Canal going left to right, right?
It was left to right.
You know what it is now?
Yeah.
It's like this. It's like going from northwest to southeast. It's like this now.
Yeah. and Spain looks really wilted. Like I don't know what happened to Spain, but it wasn't. There was something going on with Cairo and Morocco, right between Spain and the left part of Africa.
Spain doesn't match up with what I remember at all, because Spain, like, it just.
To me, it was up higher. It wasn't.
Yes.
It wasn't down like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's a huge one. And Indonesia was just one little landmass. I remember staring at it when it had that huge, what do you call it? When that huge wave came in and flooded.
And December 26th.
Like, it was so many people died. They showed mounds of bodies on the shore because so many people died.
The reason I know that is because my son's birthday is my youngest son's birthday is December 26th.
Oh yeah.
And so that was huge for me.
And Indonesia now is like it's more south, and it's a bunch of different islands. It's not just, and it used to just be that one little area, and it was more north up by Thailand for me anyway. And so yeah, Indonesia is a crazy change.
Well, and even just like Australia being like, like shoved up into Papua New Guinea. You know, and no wonder there's kangaroos in Papua New Guinea now. You know, there's kangaroos other than Australia, and now there's Australia or kangaroos everywhere. And we're like, I'm like, what? No.
And the Pacific Ocean was never, half of the planet.
I know. Exactly.
No.
Exactly. Well, and then just there's so many geography changes for me. I mean, there's Dallas. I mean, that's one of my most popular videos. I mean, Dallas is huge for me. Florida, the northern border looks all effed up to me. I mean, it just does not look the same.
I remember Orlando being on the left side of Florida coast, and now it's like kind of in the middle. But that was so long. I visited there in 1979.
Yeah, for me, Florida, Orlando was in the middle, but I can.
It was okay.
But that's okay.
That one I could be.
We're gonna see different things.
Yeah.
And we come from different realities or whatever. I mean, like, and we see changes at different times. Like I remember Jen. Shush. I'm talking to my boyfriend now. But anyway, like for instance, Jensploration with 2 ends. She has 1 end now, and I saw her video like 2 days in a row. The first day she had 2 ends. The second day she had 1 end, and I put on her chat. I said, has anyone ever said that you used to have 2 ends? And she said, funny you should say that. Dan from Scare Performance said that 2 months ago. that my name changed from 2 N's to 1 N. And so we see changes at different times. We see different changes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that all of us in this community, you know, even if we do see different things, we can accept it. I mean, I can, because at first it was like when it first started happening, I thought, well, if you don't see it the same way I do, then you're not mental affected, I don't think that way anymore,
Yeah, it's different timelines.
Yeah.
And I was in one where New Zealand was middle north of Australia. And
Yeah,
a lot of people, it was over on the northeast. For me,
That's how it was for me. New Zealand was northeast for me, but
really?
I can see that it would be middle. I mean, it's just
Norway is incredible change to me, and a lot of people don't remember it, or they weren't in the version that I lived in.
Well, and Chick has a lot of different geography effects and stuff that she talks about. And man, I love her. I think she's awesome. I mean, I pretty much I'm not caught up on her videos right now, but I pretty much watch all of hers because she's really cool. And she
has a really good Twitter or what's the other one? Twitter and whatever that other one is called. I don't go there very much.
Yeah. And then she talks about the Schumann a lot. And, that I can tell you right now, the Schumann has a lot to do with how I feel, like in general. I mean, I don't know if it does with you, but I mean, when it's like off the charts, I can tell.
Yeah, I feel like brain freeze when it's really high.
Yes.
I don't think as well, and I feel distorted and sleepy. And my energy, the other guy,
I can't even wake up. I can't even wake up.
Yeah.
Like, when the Schumann is off the charts like that, I cannot even wake up. It's I don't even know how to describe it.
Yeah, I try to keep my energy. I'm trying to get it back to what I would say is normal. And it's a daily maintenance to get it right.
Hi, Warrior Princess. I'm used
to being on a roll with my, I really get inspired with painting and playing drums and that normally, and it hasn't been like that. And that's why it affects, I feel so incomplete without that kind of energy going all the time.
Well, that's how I am.
I think you're right. It's the Schumann causing it.
Yeah.
Or this other place that we're in. We're not even on Earth anymore, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know what this is. I feel like I'm in an alien spaceship. That's it makes it look like it's Earth, but
we're in some realm we don't know what it is. In my opinion,
it could be the purgatory theory, or it could be scientific, like just a total freak accident caused by black holes and the CERN.
Well, do you think that we may be in a video game, or do you think that it's CERN?
I think CERN maybe.
But see, the reason
that doesn't make sense either, does it? No.
Well, the reason that I've always said that I don't think it's CERN is because I started seeing effects in '82, and so did Suso. He was right around that time frame too. And so how can it be CERN unless it's retrocausality?
Reality did change. Like, to me, 1983 reality felt very different than 1982. And this isn't based on products or, I didn't see physical changes, but I felt the people, or the essence of the country, like everything felt different as far as culture and the movement of the spirit of the time felt like it seemed to go from a much more free-spirited time during 82 into everybody kind of went to the pursuit of money and pragmaticism between 82 and 83. That's the change I saw in the city I lived in. It kind of went from much more free-spirited element where people were nicer and not so greedy, and then it kind of shifted to everything kind of went more conservative in
Right.
in 83. So that, I mean, that I noticed that, but I don't think it was like a shift of reality. I think reality itself shifted at that time.
Right. Hi, Ashley.
Irrationally, Patrick Roberts
Yeah.
did a good video today.
Yeah, I need to look at Patrick's
He was
video.
he was driving around and just talk. I like when he just drives and talks. Those are good.
Yeah.
His attempts to interview people aren't so good because he I think he kind of freaks people out when he's walking into a store.
That's cool, isn't it? I love those videos
It's
too.
great that he does that though.
I know. I love it too. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but I just don't know. I mean, I get, for me, it's just like there's so much evidence to say that we are in a purgatory or that I died or whatever. And I just don't know how to get around that evidence, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not like I want it to be that way. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
that I just don't know how to get around that evidence that I've died, you know?
I don't think I don't think we died. We could have. I think
Well,
it's more of a. I think something happened while we were asleep, and dreams are very mysterious. So I think when we're asleep, we're not really in our body. We're in this other place, and I think the quantum chip might have happened while we were asleep. But Patrick was in a coma, so maybe I don't know. It's so confusing. And I was in the hospital when I started seeing the changes.
well, and see, I tried to commit suicide and then I saw changes in the 80s.
Oh yeah.
So it's
Did
just
you
like
know? Was there anything drastic during that? What year was it that you did that?
82.
82. I love that year. And you attempted suicide, and you were you just?
I was
and
in, the reason I committed suicide was because,
Yeah.
or tried to, was because my friend did. And I was so
Oh.
distraught over it that I
Oh.
tried. And then, see, that's
Oh, yeah.
why I can't get my brain around the fact that I think that that's what happened because
Did you notice anything different right when you got, like, did they put you in a hospital for 10 days or something, or what was
no,
it?
no,
When you,
nothing like that. I woke up and I started puking up
oh,
the pills in the toilet,
oh,
basically.
okay. So you didn't even have to go to the hospital?
Nope, no.
Oh, that's good. So did you notice after after a couple hours, anything different?
See, I don't, it's looking back retroactively, obviously, and I don't know
Everything was the
exactly
same.
when I started seeing effects right after that, but I
Okay.
did. That's when I started seeing effects.
Huh.
Is like right after that, and the first one was John Deere. There's a John Deere. I was like grew up on a farm.
Yeah,
And
I
so,
don't have that
all
one.
we had was John Deere. All we had was John Deere. And so a John Deere combine came on the yard and it had an E
Wow.
on it. And I was like, what the hell's that? You know? I
For
mean,
me, it always had the E. I don't have that effect. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and but I had so much more after that. I had like I remember Sally Field. I remember her Oscar
Yeah.
speech.
Oh
Also,
yeah.
you
Yeah,
know.
that was a shocking one because
Yeah.
because suddenly she was wording it differently
Hmm.
and or wasn't the same body movement, not
Exactly.
the same words. That was weird.
Yeah, and see, I remember that Oscar speech. I saw it live. I saw
Wow.
it live, and so
Yeah.
for that to change,
I saw that too. I mean, I watched that with my family. I remember Sally Fields.
yeah,
You really like me.
I know. And then the Christopher Reeves and the Rod Sterling and the Charles
Right,
Schultz.
Christopher
I
Reeves.
remember, like, we would get the paper, and
Yeah.
I always looked at the peanuts, and
Yeah.
I asked my mom. I said he had a T in his name, and there was a lot of Schultzes in our community as well.
I
And
thought
so
it did have. I thought it had a T. Yeah.
yeah, well,
I
and
didn't
then
think much of it when I first saw it without it, because that was before the Mandela started for me. And when I first saw it, that was just like Rod Serling, where those kind of things, I dismissed them, thinking it
mhm.
was, like,
Well, that's what I did too, because
yeah,
there was no internet back then.
yeah,
And this was the 80s, for fuck's sake. There was no
yeah,
internet, there was
no,
no one I could talk to about any of this stuff.
yeah,
But I would ask my mom or my dad, and I would say, What what's going on? Wasn't it this?"
right.
Because I had basically a photographic memory,
Hmm.
in school.
Yeah, I have
And
kind of, I have a good visual memory. But yeah, I remember the old, J.C. Penney without the E, and that was another one. Like when I saw that, I did a double take when I saw that. I thought, no way, that can't be right.
well, for me, the J.C. Penney didn't occur till 2015.
Okay,
I always got my hair done at J.C. Penney, and I remember I went to get my hair
yeah,
done.
I
I
always went.
remember
They always had the best deal for pants, so I always went. They did. They always had like you'd get like $9 really good pants. Better than
Mhm.
the other stores were like $40. So I would just go to J.C. Penney.
But yeah, I mean, it was 2015. I was gonna get my hair done,
Uh-huh.
and I stood outside that store just staring at the sign for like probably 10 minutes. And I was like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
With the extra E.
Yeah,
I was
that's
just like,
strange.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
I stood out there for 10 minutes just staring at that sign.
I thought, the
But it
company
wasn't until 2015 that I saw that one,
I thought, oh, did the company change it?
Mhm.
And I remember them having a sub outlet store called Penny's. It didn't have the same logo and it was just called Penny's. And I thought, well, maybe this is something to do with that. I don't know if you remember Penny's. It's like their outlet. It was like a subsection of J.C. Penney. You don't you don't remember that?
No, I
Okay.
don't.
Yeah,
But
there was a Penny's
yeah.
in the 80s.
But I just know that, I mean, that was one that, I mean, I'm always willing to tell when I saw these things, because, some people saw that way before I did, the pennies. And just like, oh my gosh, like I saw a ton in 2015, a ton, like
Yeah.
Lazy Boy, Home
Oh,
Depot, went to the
yeah.
Home Depot,
You
uh,
saw those in 2015?
and the monocle for the Monopoly Man, Sex
Uh-huh.
in the City, went to and
Wow. See,
I saw a lot in 2015. So it's like three
oh,
distinct periods for me,
oh.
you
Yeah,
know?
it started earlier for you, I think,
Yeah.
because all the ones you mentioned, like I saw that in 2016. All those, and
And what's kind of cool is that I can pinpoint it because I moved back to Colorado in January of 2016. So I know the ones that I saw before I moved, you know. So it's kind of neat that I know the ones that I saw in 2015, even though, and I wish I would have been online at that time because, you know, on YouTube, you know, to see, you know, everybody else, like, you know, that was just getting started in the Mandela effect and just seeing it, you know, because I could have been part of all that or whatever, but I didn't. The whole thing that started for me, what happened and how I realized that something was fucked up was Noxzema. And
do you remember it with the Z or without?
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
In the 70s, it had a Z because I had acne, you know, and so I used it, and so it had a Z. And then when I moved back to Colorado, so this must have been 2016. So when I moved back to Colorado, I saw it at an end cap at Walmart,
I
and
thought it had a Z.
it did not have a Z.
But so now what is it?
It has a Z now, as far as I know.
Oh,
Let me look real quick. But anyway,
that one's split for me. I'm really not sure on that one, so I can't think about it.
So for me,
it's like both.
Yeah, it has a Z again now. But anyway, so when I moved back to Colorado, it didn't have a Z. It was, you know, I was on a end cap, and I was like, I wonder why they took the Z away. You know, that's what I thought.
Wow.
And then a couple months later, it had the Z again. And I was like, and then that's when I knew. That's when I knew that, you know, that stuff was effed up. Because I was just like, that's not possible. It can't go to a Z without a Z and then back to a Z again, you know?
What is reality actually made of? I mean, besides atoms and all that, I mean, like the fabric of what we're inside of must be metamorphic, because for all these things to change, you know, if, you know, Sam Gilman said, like, he believes that we're not shifting timelines. He thinks that reality is being changed from outside. That all these, that we're still, he thinks we're still on the same world, but the world is changing.
What do you think personally?
I'll
for give me you a but I would like to hear yours
that's
first.
Harder to believe for me. It seems like we're shifting in different versions of it, because we're not all remembering the same. We don't seem to all be from the same place.
Exactly.
Before. So, but I wish I could believe because then it wouldn't be so extreme. Then it would make, you know, like, I wish it was just the same world, but it's being mutated. That would be convenient, but I don't think that's what's going on.
I don't think it's a single
I don't think it's the
reality
same.
because of what you just said, because we see different things at different times, we experience different realities, we have different whatever logo changes or whatever you want to say, other stuff too. I don't feel like it can be a single reality.
Yeah. I wish it was. I don't like being in a, like, where there's 2 versions of everybody or 10 versions of every soul. Because that takes away our individuality. You know, to think like, oh, there's 100 other versions of you that are operated by a different soul. You know, that kind of takes away all the uniqueness of being a person. Does that make sense?
It definitely does, but what I want to ask you is that, I mean, have you seen like any scars change or any tattoos change to a different part of your body? or things like that, because that means that you have changed into a different version of yourself, which I think I have.
Yeah, my thumbs seem to go out further now, like the space. I think my hand changed. I never had tattoos, so
Well, my thumbs hurt
mm,
for months, and they hurt so
my
bad,
my
and then I
face,
looked down at my thumbs one day, and I'm like,
yeah,
"What the hell are they doing so far down?" You know?
my face looks different, but I think that might just be aging. Um, so that's it is. It's my ancestry changed on my mom's side. I used to be part Huron Indian, and now I'm part Algonquin.
Let's see.
And and I grew up, and my
Yep.
parents always said it was Huron. And then one day we're talking about genealogy, and they said Algonquin. And I said, "What are you talking about? It was always Huron." And they had never heard that before. And so that's a huge personal Emmy,
Right.
and I've told you about that one already.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. You have, but I mean, I'm glad you brought that up because
that
it
would
is
be as far as physical, though. Yeah, I remember kidneys being. A lot of people remember it in the back lower, but for me, it was directly on the side. Like it wasn't the back lower; it was the side lower. So I guess I'm from a different. I must be from a different version.
well, see, I have
Huh.
scars that aren't there anymore now.
Scars.
They come and go. I mean, every now and then it'll be there, and every now and then it won't. And
Yeah, I do have two scars that are both still in the same place, so those didn't change.
yeah,
They're both on my hands because I got bit.
for me, it's on my left arm, and it's when I was a kid,
Uh-huh.
and I supposedly my mom says
Yeah.
I fell on an axe.
Oh, yeah, I think you told me about this. This big
Yeah, and
group.
sometimes that scar is there, and sometimes it's not.
Oh.
And so it is kind of freaky
Oh,
as far as that
that's
goes. Yeah.
yeah. So it sounds like you've been flip-flopping
Yeah.
from wow. And that's what happened to Chick. She was temporarily back on Sagittarius, which is just
Mhm.
incredible.
I know. I love hearing her talk about that because,
Yeah,
you know,
me
she
too.
went from Sagittarius to Orion to Sagittarius again, and now she's back on
Yeah,
Orion or whatever,
oh my
Perseus
God.
or whatever the fuck we're on right now.
I wouldn't you love that? I would just love to just be back at least for like 10 days just to know that it's all still there as I remember it and then to shift back. But no, I think I'd want to stay. I think I'd want to stay on
Well, and
Sagittarius.
that's what I mean is that, like,
Unless it got
our
really
family members are different. I mean, are your
yeah.
family members different? Because mine are.
My sister is, yeah. Um my parents, yeah, they're different, but it's harder to it might just be in some cases it's hard to tell because it could be age. Um As far as their personality, I would say they're about the same. But no, they do actually, my mom does seem different now that I think about it. That's a good question.
Yeah, for
I
me, I mean,
that's yeah.
and it's hard because
Some of my friends
my family
here,
listens to this,
one
but
one of my
um,
best high school friends is very different since the Mandela. Uh, so that one I kind of attribute to the change.
for me, my family is pretty much different. And,
Wow.
you know, this is hard to say this because hopefully maybe they're not going to listen this long
No,
into
no,
this
I hope.
broadcast,
Oh, I
but
hope not. Yeah.
um,
Do they watch? I hope they don't watch your yeah, because you don't want
I made the mistake of letting him know about my channel and I shouldn't
to.
have. But anyway, what I'm saying is that they are very, very, very different than
Oh,
what
very.
they were before. It's
Oh, you
hard.
know, one of my changes is that like what I would have a trim beard or kind of a like goatee, except not like it did. And it used to be blonde hair, but now it's like since 2016, it's like a orange hair for my for the beard section.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the rest of my hair is blonde, so it's weird. It's like I have blonde hair with orange beard, and so that's kind of a freaky thing. But it used to be like it grows out a different color than it used to.
Yeah, your hair. I mean, I've kind of seen it change a little bit too. I mean, it does look mostly blonde, but I've kind of seen it like a little bit change in your picture. It seems like.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
My eyes have been really tired. Not tired. I think it's because I haven't been sleeping well, and I'm trying to sleep better because and I'm taking like eye lutein pills, to strengthen your eyes, and so I'm kind of concerned about that. What else can we talk about? I'm gonna get some coffee. I'll be right back.
Okay. So we got Data Junkie, Mystery Fried, Algo, Cellar Door 33. Thank you so much. Party Puppy, Salted Cedar, Rash. Love you, Rash. You guys, thank you so much for being here. Haven't been online in a while. Thank you for checking us out. Thank you, Prelim, for being here.
It's so funny. I said that I wasn't sleeping well, and then I go get some coffee. But actually, not. I'm not gonna have like a whole cup. I just wanted just a dash of.
So tell me what you've been up to. Yeah. Like what are you doing with your artwork and stuff like that?
I recently did a portrait of Vivian.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Truth Sets You Free is her YouTube name. And we sent it to Dan. I don't think he put it on his show though. Or if he did, I didn't see that part.
Hi, Anxiety. Nice to see you.
Hi, Anxiety.
Some people. Hi, Rash.
One of my favorite movies, Mel Brooks, 1976, 77. It's a good movie.
Let me see what Rush said. Something about a movie.
Originally, this happened to me twice, though.
Rush says, 2 people remembered meeting me, one of them on a few separate occasions, and I had no recollection of it. And I introduced myself like an idiot. Yeah.
Oh, that's so trippy.
It's really weird because, like, I have, like, this weird person that kind of stalks me here. Oh, she thinks that she's my mother. She's only like 2 years older than me. It's really bizarre. And then people have,
So she thinks that she knows you? Did she go up to you, or what happened? Rain?
With me, I think I know who my mom is. You know what I mean? But yeah, this person thinks that. And what's really odd though is she does kind of look like me.
What was her? Maybe she's. That's very bizarre. So, what was her claim?
She thinks that she gave me up for adoption or something like that, and that I'm her real daughter and all this stuff, which she's not. I mean, she's not my mom. For one thing, she's only 2 years older than me. But it's just bizarre, It's really bizarre. And then I have all these other people coming up to me saying, do you know this person, or is she like your mom or your half sister or your whatever? And I'm like, no, 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 no. It's really kind of strange, but I don't know. I don't know, but maybe in a different life. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, it does sound crazy. Hmm.
So,
Um,
when are you going to come to Colorado, Prelim?
Colorado. I don't know. I might go to Asheville, North Carolina. Um, I've never been to. Oh no, I was in Colorado once, but I was on a bus I was only passing through on my way to Seattle.
Well, there's a lot of people, like Algo's here.
Oh yeah.
Suso's here. I'm here.
Uh huh.
Tonette, I don't know if you know her. She's here.
Boyfriend, sure.
Yeah. Tonette. Yeah.
So there's a lot of people in Colorado that you could come see. And there's a lot of people in Wisconsin that I could see. You and Rash and Patrick.
Hmm.
I would like to go to Wisconsin maybe to see you guys. So I don't know.
Well, the conference, they haven't decided where it's going to be. One suggestion was Asheville, so that's why I might take a trip out for
You know,
the
what's
conference.
weird is that even though I live in Colorado, I actually work for a company in North Carolina.
Yeah. Have
So
you been there?
I've been to North Carolina, but it's been a while. Yeah. Yeah.
I guess, well, that for me would be ideal because it's a artist community, and I've always wondered I've seen some videos about it, and it looks like a really great place.
Yeah.
I heard Boulder is supposed to be really cool city.
Yeah, Boulder is really great. I mean, Algo just put in Suso, Tonette, Mile High, Scribs. Yeah, there's a lot of people in Colorado you can come visit. I know Digi says he wants to come, to Colorado to see all of us. I can't wait if Digi comes. I mean, I'll be going to Denver if Digi comes to Denver, that's for sure.
I'm not crazy about it. I don't recommend Madison. It's okay. It's just kind of a small college town. It's I'm from Milwaukee. I'm trying to get back.
Salted says, "What's a Suso?"
What's a Zeus? Yeah, where did he get that name? Oh, I know what it is.
His name is Suso, and then it has like something after, like Suso Antonio, or I don't know, Suso. I don't know. It's part of his last name. I can't remember. If you look at his Mandela Effect book, it's on there.
Yeah.
But anyway, Suso is the only one in real life that I've met in person. And I went to the bar up in Leadville, and I met him in real life.
Leadville, Colorado?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was great. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, we didn't spend that much time together, but it was a fun time.
Yeah, it's a fun place to hang out.
And he only lives like maybe 3 hours away from me. So I would like to see him again, at some point. But yeah, Suso is the only person in real life that I've met. He was the first one that I did live on my channel. I think you were the second one, Prelim. But yeah, but that was kind of fun, just
yeah.
He was the first. He was the first one, but yeah, but I've met him in real life. And
you would have. I think you would have like 3 people or 4 people at a time with the the early version of the OBS thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's nice to just know people from way back, because like some of us, I don't know, we go way back as far as like you know, in our experiences, even though, maybe we didn't have, like even for me, I mean, well, shoot, Susan and I both started, I mean, he remembers McDonald's, from the 80s, and so
I,
do
I,
I,
I didn't have that.
So it's just kind of weird, how, I don't know, it's weird how, he has a lot of experiences from the 80s, and so do I. And I can't remember what all his are from the 80s, but I know McDonald's is one of them because that's one for me too. I don't remember what all else he had. I think John Deere might have been one of them too. I don't know. I'm not sure. But anyway, I don't know. Colorado might be a good place to have a Mandela conference too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Denver or Colorado Springs or Boulder.
Okay, Rosh says she's definitely going to the Mandela conference in June. Where is the Mandela conference in June, Rash?
Did they decide where it's going to be?
That's what I'm asking her. I hope she answers. Yeah, because I didn't know.
I'm going to try to make this one.
Oh, there's Chloe. Hi, Chloe. Love you.
Chloe. Well, they're probably going to take a while yet before they decide where it's going to be.
Yeah,
Probably.
Algo says weed is legal here. I have a conference here about anything, which is true. Which I hardly ever do smoke weed, but but I like being able to do it if I want to. Connecticut, I'm not sure. They haven't made an official announcement yet, as Rash says.
Oh, I think that's probably right. That's where it's going to be.
Connecticut?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my God, that's so far away from here.
Yeah, that's. I've been there.
Oh my goodness. Well,
all right.
Gosh, it's so crazy because
I'm pretty tired, but
I know I was gonna say there's like the most people in the chat right now, but I'm tired and wanting to go to bed too.
Oh, got 16 people.
Yeah. But you guys, thank you so much for participating, and obviously I love Prelim being on here. Prelim, you're always welcome on my channel. Always, always, always.
All right.
And but yeah, I think I'm gonna go to bed too. I mean, I'm really, really tired. But you guys, thank you so much. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much. Chloe, I'm glad you came in. I'll go, Data Junkie.
Oh wait, before you go,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Why don't you wrap up with one of your main theories about the what happened, the death theory theory?
Well, that is what I came on here to discuss, honestly, is the death theory. And if anyone in the chat has like any insights onto what they think is like, especially if you agree with me on the death theory, because I honestly, for myself, I don't see any way around it. I just don't. I don't see any way around that.
So the real
bubbles, damn.
So the real, like the life that you had on Sagittarius, you think that person passed away and now you're here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely think I died. I mean, I definitely think I've died. Maybe even 3 or 4 times. But yeah, the person on Sagittarius, and I think that happened a long time ago without even me realizing.
Way back. Oh.
Yeah, like in 1982.
Amazing.
And so.
But if you were not there for so long, wouldn't you have seen a lot more changes, or maybe maybe it's only made more clear by the internet.
But see, I did though. Like I saw, like I told you, I saw like Charles Schultz, Sally Fields, Christopher Reeves, Rod Sterling, McDonald's,
Hmm.
John Deere. I saw all those in the 80s. And so, and I may have seen even more that I can't think of. I don't really know because, I wasn't paying attention to that stuff.
Yeah,
Because there was no internet and shit like that,
right.
you know?
Makes sense.
And
Did
so,
the moon look different suddenly?
right.
In fact, did you notice anything different about the moon? The face of the moon?
Well, the moon was never out in the daytime when I was a kid and then it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Now, when did I notice that?
yeah.
I can't say that. I don't know.
For me, that was overnight. Looks like the face of the moon was suddenly totally different. And when I look at old movies that have the moon in it, it doesn't show the old moon anymore. You can't. It's not in the history in this reality. Like you can't find what the moon looked like. There's no residue of it. Yeah. So thanks for. I'm gonna get some sleep.
All right. Well, Prelim, you know that I love having you on here. And thank you so much for joining me because it made it so much better and
Yeah.
a great broadcast. And I love you. Just want you to know that. And you have a great night and a great week, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
I'm too tired to think
And
right now. Okay.
and everybody else in the chat, thank you so much for joining. I'm gonna get off here.
Great. Okay.
But thank you, Prelim. Thank you, everybody,
Thanks.
for that. And everybody have just a great week. And, let's just keep talking about all this Mandela stuff,
Yes. Yes. Especially anything positive, because there's just way too much negativity
Right.
and
Exactly.
I just don't want to traumatize or paranoia type of thoughts.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, I think if you watch Patrick's new video, he says something very positive that I could agree with
Okay.
about what.
Well, I'm definitely going to watch that.
Okay. All right. With that, I'm going to sign out. Thank you.
All right.
Take care.
Everybody, thank you so much for showing up. Love you all. See you later in the next time. Okay. Love you all. Bye-bye.